So I
Shout
have.
out to Michael Milman.
Thank you,
Even
thank
though you're
you,
right here, it's kind
thank
of lame
you.
actually.
So what I do is I have three channels right now on YouTube. One is this podcast channel. Actually, four, because of the podcast channel, and then there's like a podcast moments, I call it. The Milman podcast moments. It's gonna be the podcast cut up into pieces, because
You got
that's
more channels than like DirecTV. You
yeah.
like those bars?
And then I have my video blog channel, and then I also have my sketch comedy channel.
Yeah, man.
So the sketch comedy channel is new. I just launched it recently, and I've been finally seeing a little success because of one sketch. I made this parody of Dhar Mann, and Dhar Mann and Shetty. They make these corny fucking videos, and there's like some truth to it, but sometimes they're a little too extreme and corny as hell of these messages. Like, one thing I had a problem with Jay Shetty's video, I saw this video where you had two fathers, right? And one father was like cool, and then one father was like way too hard on his son. So the son was a fuck up. Both sons were fuck ups. And then one dad's like, "Oh, don't worry, man. You'll get him next time, you know? Like, keep your head up and all that
That shit
bullshit."
never happens in our family.
Yo, our family, we get the other father.
Yeah,
Hey,
like,
what the? Actually, I wouldn't say it's on that level though, because the other father was a complete dick. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, our parents are more passive aggressive, but it's like a Russian Jewish mentality, like Soviet Union, former Soviet Union. Actually, not just Jewish, but former Soviet Union mentality. And they're like, they're just like, "Oh, you got a 95. Why didn't you get 100?
Yeah.
Oh well." And they're kind of like passive aggressive about it. You're like, they like hit you with it, and then they walk away, and you're like, what the fuck just happened? You know what I mean? Like, aren't I like what? But anyway, this father was a fucking asshole. Like, you're a fuck up. You can't get anything right. And the message was that Jay Shetty's trying to say you got to be like Father A. Oh, don't worry, man. Like, everything. But I think there has to be a fucking balance, because the extreme father is a dumbass who's going to fuck his kid's life up. And then the other one is way too lenient with his kid. And his kid's going to think it's okay to be a fuck up. You know what I mean? So this one has too much pressure not to be a fuck up. And then this one's like, oh, it's like the rest of his life, he's going to remember his dad's words and say, oh,
Long story short, they're both gonna end up both being fuck ups.
Absolutely. And you have to be in the middle. So the good father and the bad father should kind of like combine the good traits and get rid of the bad traits.
Together and raise their kids together.
Right. And that way you have a balance, and you'll say something like, come on, man. You gotta want it. You gotta fucking want it. And it's kind of like motivational speech rather than hate speech. So instead of saying you're a fucking idiot, what's wrong with you? Come on, son. Do you want this or not? Come on, get this beast out of you. Like, you got to be more motivational. You can't just be like, oh, it's okay, everybody wins kind of mentality. Like, nah, man, not everybody wins. That's why there's competition. That's why there's, that competitive nature. Not everybody wins. That's bullshit.
Yeah, there's winners and there's losers.
Yeah, and not to sound mean, but you always have to thrive. You strive to be a winner.
That doesn't sound mean.
No. And just because you lost,
nicest way you could have ever put it.
But just because you lost, it doesn't make you a loser, though. That's where people get confused.
Well, technically, you are a loser.
No. A loser is someone that just gives up. A loser is someone who gives up, and
lost.
someone who blames their problems on other people. A winner is somebody who lost in the past and who failed and wants to succeed. Okay? That's the difference between a true winner and a loser.
Yeah.
Just to clarify.
And everybody loses at some point in their life.
And without that, without the losing, you can't win.
Yeah.
Because you can't feel the pain of losing and wanting to overcome that. It's kind of like when you have a rich family and these spoiled ass kids just get everything they want, and then they don't appreciate the money.
I was a loser when I quit that restaurant job, but you know what? That's a different story. Like, people shouldn't be like, oh, take that as example and make your life into a losing type of lifestyle. But that was like it felt good to lose, because you know what? I also realized that shit ain't me. because I can't carry those fucking trays.
Yeah.
But you also that the lesson in that is also you get to learn who you are.
Yeah.
And I think that's important, and that's a step to actually becoming a winner.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But I can't.
Jay Shetty, what a name though.
Jay
He
Shetty.
probably got made fun of a lot.
I don't even think that's like his real name. I think that's like his stage name. But Nicole Arbor actually recently called his ass out, like recently, probably like a year ago, but for like stealing quotes and shit like that. That's why I'm surprised he's still out there. But
Yeah,
damn, man, some of these
bosses,
videos I watch, I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, come on.
Yeah.
You know?
So yeah, I think
I think we covered some good ground here. I'm gonna be the one to say it, not
that's
you.
all I was waiting for you. It would be weird for me to say that. It's like,
Yeah, it would be weird for you to say it. But anyway, I want to say that this was fun. Thank you. I'm looking forward to episode 2, and I think episode 2 will be better. Right? We're gonna get better as we
this
go
show's
along.
good, bro. But
No.
yeah, episode 2 would be better.
No, and I want to shout out H3 podcast because they were inspirational. Like I remember.
Oh, there you go. You're saying they.
Well, because like now I'm not like because I'm talking to you about them. That's why I'm not talking to them. I'm not saying, hey guys, the reason why I'm shouting you out is because blah blah blah. Anyway, they are awesome because I remember there was like this episode. I think it was 50. I'm not sure. And they're like, we made it. We made it to episode 50. And we didn't even think we'd get this far. We actually wanted to give up many, many times. It wasn't working out for us at first, which is actually interesting. And this makes me want to watch like a few of their earlier podcasts and see what was going on there, see why they were saying that. But yeah, so shout out to them for that.
I mean, listen, when you first start everything, I mean, you know, with most things, it's going to come out to be not as good.